I commend you, man. Your mind works differently. You think differently to the 99% of weak sheep that surround us. You understand that you can't be anything other than average if you spend your entire life accepting average advice from average people living average lives. And those weak sheep can't comprehend this. They choose a path of ignorance instead. And for that reason, their dreams die. And they remain a part of the script. The script which has been constructed by man, one that infiltrates your brain, telling you to trust that you'll be able to retire by age 65, and to trust the mainstream media, and to trust that the food you are eating is healthy. No thanks. Me and you are wiser than that. And if you want to take advantage of your gifted mindset, just like me, make sure you listen to this very closely. Now, from the moment that I was brought into this world, I was fucking deep-throated a script and programmed for an existence which can undeniably be compared to modern-day slavery. Now, you might laugh at that, but it's fucking true. It's true, and it's scary when you really think about it and look at how we have been constructed to live, how society makes out for things to be normal when they're just not. And obviously that's quite a general point to make, but I'm going to be getting into some specifics, so listen closely. So this was me, just, for a start, eating some healthy cereal, as you can see, Fruit Loops. I mean, what are they? And I would eat probably 3 bowls of them, and I thought I was getting all the necessary nutrients that I needed. I mean, it's just ridiculous how that we are allowed to feed this to our children. It's absolutely sickening. Like, it is actually a joke. The amount of sugars and processed chemicals that are literally in that. We give it to children. We give it to children. I was a child eating this. Like, my body is like 80% Fruit Loop, probably, even to this day. From the start, I was told, Myron, go to school, go to uni, get an education, get a degree, regardless of the education's relevance to real life, regardless of how many other millions of people have the same useless degree, and regardless of the cost that it will cause to your bank account, because you'll use student loans and you'll use credit cards to cover it all, whilst accumulating thousands and thousands of pounds worth of debt and enriching the national banks in the process. But that's okay. You don't need to worry about that time in your life. Why? Because that will be your time to have fun, right? That will be your time in life to celebrate the fact that you've now got this great opportunity of increasing your chances of getting a high-paying job. And when you eventually get this high-paying job, you'll be able to trade a full 5 out of 7 days of your week for little pieces of paper called money. You'll slave away all day. You'll repeat brain-numbing tasks just so that you can pay back for the elite education that you just had, and for the clothes that you wear on a daily basis. This vest, which I've worn every day for the past 23 years. Right, I think that's definitely not true, but you know what I'm saying. And you'll repeat these brain-numbing tasks to pay for your car and for your apartment, which probably costs just about as much as your monthly paycheck. You'll keep using these credit cards to live a better life, a fancier life, so that you can show off to your friends and show them all the wonderful things you own, all the watches, all the bloody toys, or God knows whatever the hell else you want to buy. And you'll buy expensive rounds in the VIP sections of nightclubs so that you can impress the women. You'll be able to keep climbing the corporate ladder and brown-nosing your absolute sleazeball of a manager, right? The guy who just couldn't give 2 lesses of a about you. But you'll do this just to show him that you're willing to do whatever it takes to succeed. You'll follow fashion trends. You'll follow Netflix and reality TV shows. You'll watch the news and you'll follow it, and you'll follow and admire celebrities, and you'll listen to every bit of politics and opinions that they share just because they're famous. You'll pay your taxes, you'll pay your bills, you'll pay your car payments, you'll pay your mortgage, and you'll do all of these things whilst continuing to stack even more debts and giving more money to the banks and the people at the top. And after running yourself to the ground, you might be able to take 1 week off for a holiday to go abroad somewhere, if your boss grants you permission, of course. Eventually you'll meet a woman who seems good enough for you, and you'll choose to settle down with her so that you can pay for a wedding that you can't even afford, and you'll spend the next 10 years of your life paying it off, even after you've divorced. You'll continue working, you'll continue spending, you'll continue getting distracted, you'll continue dreading Sunday night and dreading Monday morning even more, and then you'll dream about quitting. You'll dream about traveling the world. You'll dream about being able to wake up whenever you want to wake up, about achieving greatness, about something more meaningful than the meaninglessness of paying bills and repeating this bullshit cycle. But you'll be stuck. You'll have kids to look after at this point, so you'll have to be responsible, and then you'll have no choice but to start preparing for your retirement. You'll follow the advice of some smug moron on TV who tells you to trust in compound interest and to trust that if you do this you'll be able to retire at age 65. Dodgy bloke. He's a wanker. I don't even know who he is, but he's a wanker. And then you'll waste time learning how to get rich from people who aren't even rich. And you'll invest everything into the stock market, praying that you avoid a crash. And the worst thing about all of this is that you'll teach your kids the exact same script that you spent your whole life hating. And you'll inform them of the absolute difference between their stupid pipe dreams and the reality of life. And then, as you grow older, the regret will start to seep in. Your bucket list will be pretty much full, and your time left on this planet will be near enough over. The compound interest and investment funds won't have accumulated as much as you'd hoped, meaning that you won't even be able to take that dream cruise that you wanted to. So you'll push that retirement date back even further, just to work more and more and more, until eventually your time's up. You lived the same miserable life as 99% of civilization, and you left nothing behind other than painful regret and unfulfilled potential. What a load of horseshit, bro. What a waste. Honestly, what a waste of a fucking life. Seriously, that is depressing. It's depressing as fuck. And I'm grateful, and I hope you're grateful too, that you don't want this. You do not want that life. Because you and I are both better than that, right? Absolutely, we are so much better than that. And we think differently. We're not normal. After all, we're not normal. And that's the best thing. That's the best thing. It's a gift. It's an absolute gift. If you don't think that story's sad, you are sick and twisted, son. You know? You are. And you know what's funny? You've literally been set out to follow this script. We all have. Literally every motherfucker on this planet has been set out to follow this script. This is the script we were supposed to follow. But against all the odds, we're determined to come out from this shithole completely unscathed. And this, my friend, is how we're going to do it. First of all, we're not going to follow the crowd. Because if you're going the same way as the majority of people, you're usually going the wrong way, you know? To get what most people don't have, i.e. freedom and money, you need to be doing what most people don't do. It's that simple, you know? Now, being a sheep isn't just about following the crowd, because it's also about believing in the shepherd. In this case, the people higher up, right? If you're a sheep, if you're an NPC, you know, you're just one of the 99% of people. It's not just about being that sheep or that NPC. It's about believing in the shepherd, right? It's about believing that he cares about your well-being just because he feeds you, you know, and he looks after you, and he shaves off your wool, and he shears you. I think that's the word they use, isn't it? He shears off your wool, right? But in reality, he's just preparing you for the slaughterhouse. Now that is a sad truth, but it's true, bro. It's absolutely true. We're also going to take risks as frequently as possible, because when you take risks, you can't lose, right? Because you win either way, right? Because if you win, like if you actually win, you will get happiness, right? But if you lose, this just results in wisdom and lessons. You've learnt from those failures. You've learnt from those losses, right? So inevitably, you're going to win the next time you try, or the third time, or the fourth time. So there is absolutely no risk in taking risks, almost, if you have that kind of mentality. If you want to break free from the average and actually achieve your dreams, you have to leave your comfort zone. Because if we look at this diagram here, all of the best things are on the other side of fear. See this cute little circle here? That's the majority of people, you know, insecure, They're just surviving, doing enough to get by, you know. They're scared, they have a dull life, they procrastinate, they settle for less, they're playing it safe. Ugh, disgusting. This is the comfort zone. We don't want anything to do with this, because we want to live here, you know. This is where all the best things are. This is where we get the most out of life. This is where the most excitement is. This is where we get the most confidence. This is where we have the most happiness and fulfillment. And as men, fulfillment is arguably the best feeling a man can get. So this needs to be done, boys. We're going to take the risks. We want to be a part of the minority. We don't want to follow the crowd. We don't want anything to do with this shitty little circle. We're outside of it, okay? Another thing we want to be doing is reading books to widen our perspectives and our knowledge. And self-help books are particularly great at this because they're almost like a reinvestment in yourself, and this is your greatest asset. If you can develop your brain and you can understand things that other people can't understand, you are way up here, and they are, in fact, they're not even in the shot. They're off the camera, son. Right? They're on the floor. Right? We're up here. They're down there. Because the knowledge is limitless, and you can almost see it like this, you know, you're able to conversate with all of the finest people, all of the greatest people from past centuries, and you're able to live through their mistakes and their successes. Essentially, it's like learning and speeding up your progression in life because of it. If you can learn from somebody else's mistakes and somebody else's successes, then that means you don't need to experience what they experienced. You can just learn from them and then apply that knowledge to your life. It's like a cheat code, man. Like, reading is like a cheat code. Like, the fact that people don't do it is beyond me, you know? Well, actually, it's not beyond me, because most people like to live in that little bubble that I just talked about, don't they? But obviously we think differently. And the last thing you can be doing is reinvesting into your education. So it's a bit like reading, but this is where you actually pay somebody to teach you something that you want to learn. So I'm not talking about government curriculum, I'm not talking about, you know, getting a degree, about going to college. I'm talking about buying from somebody that you trust and that has good credentials. You know, you can look online and coaching. A lot of people tend to think these are scams, you know, but these people that think they're scams, they're the kind of people that play it safe. They're the kind of people that play average lives, you know. And I'm not trying to sell you anything here, by the way. I want to make that clear. The fact of the matter is, you can find most of this information online, okay? You can find most of the online courses that people are selling. The information that's on these courses, you can get it online for free. You can, that's the truth. But courses are so much more time effective, and time is the most valuable currency. We don't have an endless amount of time. So to give us as much time as possible, you know, to do the things that we love, we want to be learning as quickly as possible. And to learn as quickly as possible and to learn the things that actually are important, you want to be investing some money into some credible sources. You know, if you can find someone that has a good course and you're thinking about buying it, just do it, man. Invest in yourself. It's critical, man. Absolutely critical. And like, just think of this, right? Even the best entrepreneurs in the world reinvest into their education. You know, you have people like Alex Hormozy, Iman Gadji. I guarantee these guys, in fact, I'm willing to bet everything I own, which is not very much, that they are actually paying for some kind of tutor. Like, I'm almost willing to bet that they are, because they understand that there is huge amounts of value to be understood and learnt when you're being taught by somebody who, you know, may actually be a couple of steps ahead of them. Now, as I said, I don't have a course or anything, but I hope I will at some point in the future. But what I do have for you is a free diet plan. I'm literally going to give it to you. It's in the description below. This is going to help you to increase your muscle mass. Believe you can, and you're more than halfway there.